Peter now not a helping hand, so was he hated that he now command.
Alone he rowed his boat, alone he cast his nets aside,
or made his anchor fast.
Thus by himself compelled to live each day, to wait for certain hours the tide's delay.
At the same times, the same dull news to see.
The bounding marsh bank and the blighted tree, the dark warm flood ran silently and slow,
while sharp, cool winds offshore did blow.
There Peter chose from man to hide, there hang his head,
and view the lazy tide in its hot, slimy channel slowly glide.
Here, dull and hopeless, he'd lie down and trace how sidelong crabs had scrawled their crooked race, or sadly listen to the tuneless cry of fishing gull or clanging golden eye.
Besides these,
there were places three which Peter seemed with certain dread to see.
When he drew near them, he would turn from each
and loudly whistle till he passed the reach.
A change of scene to him brought no relief. In town, it was plain men took him for a thief. Individuals would stop him in the street.
Now, Peter, thou hast no boy to beat. Children at play, when they perceived him, they ran, warning each other. That's the wicked man.
He growled an oath, and in an angry tone cursed the whole place, and wished to be alone.
Alone he was, the same dull scenes in view, and still more gloomy in his sights they grew.
Though man he hated, yet employed alone, at bootless labour he would swear and groan.
Cursing the shoals that glided by the spot, and the gulls that caught them when his arts could not.
Cold, nervous tremblings shook his sturdy frame, and strange disease, he couldn't say the name. Wild were his dreams, and often he rose in fright, waked by his views of horrors in the night. Horrors that would the sternest minds amaze, horrors that demons might be proud to raise. And though he felt forsaken, grieved at heart, to think he lived from all mankind apart, and yet, if some man approached, in terrors he would start.
A winter passed since Peter had saw the town. He shunned the looks, the certain frown.
At certain times, Peter would view the stream and stare, bewildered, as if in a dream.
As if some power had chained him for a time to feel a curse or meditate on crime.
Wretch, dost thou now repent?
He heard, he trembled, and to fear he resigned.
New terror filled his restless mind. Furious he grew, and up the country fled.
And there we seized him, a distempered man, back to the borough and to a parish bed. Followed and cursed, the groany man was led.
Here, where we saw him, whom we used to shun, a lost man, so harassed and undone. Our gentle females, ever prompt to feel, perceived compassion on their anger steal.
His crimes we could not from our memories blot,
but we were grieved and trembled at his lot.
Look, his limbs with horror shake.
And as he grinds his teeth, what noise they make.
How glare his angry eyes, and yet is not awake.
See what drops upon his forehead stand.
How he clenches that broad, bony hand.
It was the fall! Wait, I can show the man how! Never struck a blow. Unhand me! Free my chains and oath! It struck into the brain. Where's my father? That old man will swear against my life besides. He wasn't there. What? All agreed to my die today? Father, have mercy, give me time to pray.
Then, as they watched him, calmer he became, and grew so weak he could not move his frame.
I never shook up.
He murmuring spoke, and while we could see or hear the start of terror and the groan of fear,
Why ask my father? For no one will swear against my life besides. He wasn't there.
it was part confession and the rest defense, a madman's tale with gleams of waking sense.
Listen, I'll tell you all. The very day when my father first placed them in my way, it was one hot, silent, still serene. I fixed my eyes on the midstream and saw the spirits rise. I saw my father on the water stand and hold the thin, pale boy in either hand. I would have struck them, but they knew my intent and smiled upon the oar, and down they went.
Now from that day, whenever Peter began to dip his net, there stood in front of him the old man, him and those boys.
Peter prayed they be gone, but gazing on the spirits, they bade him leap to death.
And every day, as sure as day arose, would these three spirits meet him.
To hear and make daily was Peter's doom.
Come,
They said, with weak, sad voices,
come.
To row away with all my strength I tried, but there they were, the three embodied forms. Father should pity, but this old man shook his hoary locks and froze me by a look. 3 times when I shook at them, from the water came this hollow groan. Father, have mercy! But he has no compassion in his grave.
one fierce summer's day, when Peter's poor brain was burning hot, there came his father from. There he stood with his 2 boys again.
There was more mischief in their eyes, more glee in their pale faces as they glared at Peter.
With his hand, the old man scooped the flood, and there came flame about him mixed with blood.
They bade him stoop and look upon the place. Then he flung the hot red liquor at Peter's face.
Burning it blazed. Peter roared for pain.
Thought the demons would have turned my brain, but there they stood and forced me to behold the place of horrors. For the flood opened, and there I heard the shriek of tortured guilt and no earthly tongue could speak.
And there he ceased, and gazed on all around, frightened and amazed. But still he tried to speak, and stared on in dread at The frightened females gathered round his bed.
I never struck a blind. I never struck a blind.
He dropped, exhausted, and with an inward, broken voice he cried,
Can they go? Can they go? Again.
He murmured as he died.
You know, I would have liked to have met the writer, Bertolt Brecht. He summed it up perfectly in his play Mother Courage and Her Children. In it, Mother Courage says, poor folk have got to have courage. Why? Simply getting up in the morning takes some doing in their situation, or to plow a potato field in wartime, or to bring kids into a world with little hope. Yes, to live poor, that takes courage. Don't leave here tonight feeling depressed. My poem, The Burrow, serves to remind us all of the endurance and determination that poor people, ordinary people, must have in order to live their lives in spite of all the difficulties.
George Crabbe wasn't the only one writing about poverty. Some people say that it's foolish to write about such subject matters because it's not what people are interested in. People are interested in the happy times, stories with happy endings, stories about kings, heroes, warriors, but not the slaves who served them, who built Thebes. In the books, you can read the names of kings and the mighty buildings they erected. Was it actually the kings who hauled up the lumps of stone? No, of course not. So who did? What were their names? What were their names? What were their names? Their names are Alexandra, who searches in the mud for shells every day for £2. Snake Boy, terrified of suffocating in the narrow tunnels of the copper mine. Backshire, cutting, mending, gluing, in the unsafe factory until her hands ache. Sandy, digging up potatoes from the heavy earth, from dawn till dusk. Frederick, forced to work the county lines in Liverpool, dreaming of his homeland, Romania, where he was told, open wide your hands to your brother, to the needy and to the poor in your land. In 2015, world leaders agreed the following target: to take immediate and effective measures to eradicate forced labour, to end modern slavery and human trafficking, and to secure the prohibition of the worst forms of child labour, including recruitment and use of child soldiers. And by 2025, end child labour in all its forms. By 2025, end child labour in all its forms. By 2025, end child labour in all its forms.
When the voices of children are heard on the green, and laughter is heard on the hill,
our hearts rejoice at such a scene, and everything else is still. Then come home, my children, for the sun has gone down, and the dews of night arise. Come, leave our play, and let us away, till the morning appears in the skies.
No, let us play, for it is yet day, and we cannot go to sleep. Besides, in the sky, the little birds fly, and the hills are all covered with sheep.